All right, Franz, I'm finally getting around to doing this video here for you. Just doing a bit of technical analysis. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go through a number of things here. And basically, this is stuff that I would probably work on over a longer period of time. But because I'm actually only here for, a little over a month or so, I'm going to cover a number of things. Do not take this to mean that you're a terrible rower. That's not what it means. It just means that we all have many things that we can work on, from you to me to the best in the world, and we will see some of the best in the world, and we'll definitely see that they also have some of these issues. So over time, that is. So we're going to start off with the video 8:24:25. So we're going to come back here, and we're coming to this one. Okay. So we're going to start off here at the beginning, and we're going to go to watch the first few seconds here. So we're watching Franz on 8:24.
Push on.
Here we go. Now, what we see here is shooting the slide. So notice how the hips are firing out before we actually get connection on the blades. Right? So when we come up here, watch this here as see how the hips there are kind of sliding before it goes. And if we watch it at full slide, it's almost like we let the hips kind of skid out from underneath us. Right here, boom, see there, look at that, okay? Right here, drastic. So, whoosh, see the hips push, push, push. Now what we see with that is, if we look at where the handles are in relation to the boat, and we look at where the hip is in relation to the boat, okay, so we're coming up to your point of maximum compression, which is here, which is well over compressed. Those shins are way past 90 degrees, so you're going to be putting a lot of strain on the knee there. We're putting ourselves in a weakened position. But ignoring that, we're going to see here's where the hands are, here's where the hip is. The hip is basically just a little ahead of the pin, maybe right on the pin, okay? And the hands are here. So as we shoot that out, right? Now, look, the hips have moved from the pin or a little ahead of the pin all the way back, but the hands have stayed pretty close to where they were, okay? See that in relation to the boat, the hands haven't really moved that much. So all this leg drive here that we've done to this point here, right? So we're this far, we can see how much the leg has actually moved from here to here, right? The hip has gone from here to here. Right? Look at all that distance that this has traveled, but have the hands traveled commensurately far? No, they haven't. So that means that we have actually not moved the blades and the boat at all during that bit. It means we've lost. We've only moved the boat a little bit, but we've used a tremendous amount of our leg. So that's shooting the slide, and we can see how it puts the body in an incredibly weak position. So now when the weight does come on, we now have the legs gone, but the body's almost folded over. So now to get into a strong position, and in fact, your knuckles here are way up at like your forehead height here, okay? So this here is a very weak position. And now to bring that body back, we're lifting and lifting, and this is putting a lot of pressure on the lower back because we're taking all the weight of the boat and you and the blades and the riggers and everything else on these lower back muscles, and they're not designed to handle that kind of load. And here we can see that after we sort of got our legs here, we're still not even really finishing those legs. We're now putting everything on that body, right? And now that the arms are pulling, now the legs kind of finish off right at the end as we're pulling it in with the arms. So this is very, very weak position, right? This is so this is not something we want to see. Shooting the slide is never good. This here, right there, is your point of maximum compression. Anytime you spend here, 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 that is all wasted time, okay? So if we count the frames, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 frames, okay? We'll give you 11 frames of this stroke. We're up in a position where we can't actually apply power. We're in a weak position, we're overcompressed, and we would be using energy just to get back to a powerful position, a strong position. And that's even assuming we did not shoot the slide from here as well. So really lock that 90 degrees in. And again, if we look at somebody else here who's going to be racing, Okay, we're going to look at here. 8, 11. We're going to try to get a dead side-by-side shot here. Here we go. We're on mute. Excellent. Don't want to get a copyright strike. Okay. So here they come. Look at that. See those shins? Bang. Right there to the 90 degrees. Full compression. Look at the person on the far lane. Boom. 90 degrees. Right? This is Diana Dimchenko versus Janine Gamelin. Janine Gamelin, the one close to us, was a world champion gold medalist, and she sets the record for Henley at this particular year in the 2018 Henley. In the final, she set the record. Look at her here again, straight up and down on those shins, right? So these are people who know what they're doing. And generally when we look for technique, okay, look at that far person, again, nice full compression, not over compressed. The temptation for a lot of inexperienced rowers or uncontrolled rowers is that they want to overcompress because they're thinking about getting length. But we don't care about total length. We care about usable length, about strong length. And that is going to max out at 90 degrees on those shins. So that's what we're looking for, right? That's what we're looking for. We don't want to be an out-of-control rower. We don't want to be a weak rower. We don't want to look like a novice rower, right? So there you go. So let yourself hit that 90 degrees. Okay. So now, as we progress through here, we are shooting the slide. We can see shooting, 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 and now, oof, we take that weight. So we've got the extra weight that's on the back, which is not good because it's going to, over time, it's going to really strain those muscles and we'll get a lot of back pain and stuff. And people have actually blown out discs, right? You probably wouldn't do it because it's usually a multi-year thing. It's a cumulative effect where eventually the discs just give out. But what we want to do is we want to really strengthen how we sit in there as well. We want to keep that forward angle, but we want to sit very tall. Sit on those uncomfortable sit bones and lock that body in. Now, why shooting the slide is also bad is because the legs are the strongest muscle in the body. Okay, the legs are our strong ones. Right here, from here, we should get tons of leg driving power. But we've wasted all of our leg power shooting that slide. So we actually get no return from the big, strong muscles, and then subsequently we have to rely on the smaller muscles. That means that we're going to put an artificial ceiling. So if you want your ceiling, where my cursor is, to be way up here at the top of the screen for speed and power and being able to move that boat, by negating the legs, we're already limiting our ceiling to down here. Right? And then it becomes a factor of, can I operate close to this level rather than can I utilize all this extra power and speed that we have up there to get. Okay, so that's why we want to put ourselves in a very strong position and utilize a strong core to lock in the body. Now, we're going to move on to video 24, number 3. Here we're going to see something that is the opposite. So this now is going to be heaving or opening too soon. Okay, so this is going to be at 0.4 seconds. So I'm just going to watch this here. Okay, here we go. So now we can see as we come up here, we're still over compressed, but we're not now laying down on the thigh, right? We're not laying on the thigh, and this is the same day, right? This is the same day. So we're doing both these extremes on the same day. And this can happen because of fatigue. As we get fatigued, we get less in control of our body. And that's where we really, really, really have to demand of the mind. The mind has to say, body, you will do what I tell you to do, and we will force it into the correct position. It's mental toughness. It's mental strength. And I tell you now, it is far more important than physical gifts, okay, when it comes to rowing. It is mentally strong people do well, okay, because we can be hyper aware of what we're doing with our bodies and pushing ourselves even when fatigued to hold proper technique, okay. It's very important stuff. So now we're going to watch, and we're going to watch the shoulders in relation to the hip. Again, we're talking shoulder hip angle. We always want to think about that shoulder hip angle. Again, we just maximize yourself at 90 degrees, but thinking about shoulder hip angle now. We start the drive, we start the drive, we start the drive. And blades are going in, but look at how the shoulders are already passing the hip. So by the time the blades are connected to the water, which is this frame here, we're already straight up and down, if not maybe one frame past straight up and down on the hip. So now the body keeps opening, and now we know the shoulder is out accelerating the hip. If the shoulder here is out accelerating the hip, it's moving towards the bow faster and further than the hip is, which it is here, we can see that happening. That means again the weight is being taken on the body because this here is lagging behind. This is out accelerating it, okay? So we want to hold that body angle through that leg drive, and we're going to see something very, very strong with that. When we look over here, we're going to come to these guys, and we're going to change this video, and we're going to look at Kim Brennan rowing. And we're going to mute it, because, oh, and of course there's a commercial, so we'll have to wait through the commercial. My apologies. Oh, great, get another commercial. Okay, so we're going to wait through this commercial as well, and then we will go. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to bring it to here. So again, when I look at technique a lot of times, sorry, I started talking about this before, but it slipped my mind. When I look at technique, I tend to look at lightweights and women because they don't have just the physical power, the strength, the muscle mass to overcome deficiencies. So they have to maximize technique. So you will generally find your best rowing with people who are lightweights or women. That's not 100%, all the time, obviously, because you get some very, very good heavyweight men and you get some very, very bad lightweights and women. But Kim Brennan is fantastic. Okay, I don't use that word lightly. Technically, she is fantastic. Okay, look at where her shins are here at the catch. Look at this placement of the blade. Okay, and we're going to see this later on with you as you put that blade in. Right, she's putting this blade in by lifting the hands at the shoulder. Boom. It's not by opening the body. It's by lifting the shoulder. Bang, bang. Right. Look at that. Now, as she starts the drive, look at how the shoulder hip angle stays, right? Boom, boom. Look at that shoulder hip angle is locked in. Okay, now, as we get to here, now there starts to lay back, and by the time the shoulder passes the hip or gets straight above the hip here, look how much of that leg is gone by the time that shoulder passes the hip. Then we come back to here, and we're going to see as we pass the hip, where that leg is, okay? So we have a little forward angle there, and we're probably past, I would say here, right? I'd say here. Here's probably where we're past. So we're basically, we haven't used any leg already, and we're already just past that hip, okay? So we want to hold that body angle very strong. So I'm belaboring a lot of these points. As you'll see in some of the later videos, it gets better, right? It does get better, and you have some pretty nice strokes. But these, we're just highlighting why these are important, why this is something you want to focus on every time you're out there if your intention is to maximize speed. Okay, so that's the heaving and the approach to catch, okay? Now, let's move on here. We're going to say 8:30. And that is 8:30:25. 1, fantastic. Okay. So here we go. So we're going to watch this here, and we're just going to maximize it. So we can kind of see there was a little bit of heave, right? A little bit of a heave here. See how the body, as we approach the catch, the hips come underneath the body there. It kicks the shoulders up, and then the shoulders lead the action moving away, right? Again, over compression, but shoulders lead the action moving away. That's weight on the body. That's getting nothing in return from the leg drive, right? That's what we're looking at there. We're going to continue watching. Here we go. Let's see, watch what the body's doing. Boom, here, right? Body's opening very early, right? We're putting a lot of weight on the muscles, and we're weakening ourselves. We're taking that ceiling, and we're saying, I don't want the legs. Throw the legs away. Okay, great. Our ceiling for speed is now down here. Okay? We never want to lower that ceiling. We're going to come to 17 seconds. And this is just going to be the same thing. So, we look here again, boom, look at this here. And now, this is what I'm going to talk about as well with placing the blades in the water. When we looked at Kim Brennan, the body angle held the same. The lifting came from the hands and the shoulder. not from the body angle changing. Here, as the body angle changes, that's where the blades are kind of being pushed into the water by opening that body a bit, right? So we don't want to open the body. We want to hold that body angle as the hands lift. And it's like when we get to the catch, I'm going to back us up here a bit. Here we go. So when we get to that point of maximum compression, we want to pretend there's little marionette strings from God going tied to our hands, going straight up to the sky. And God just gives that string a little tug, and our arm just lifts up. Nothing else changes, okay? Nothing else changes as we do it. So when we come back here to Brennan, we're going to come to the next catch here for her. Okay. Boom. Look at that. See the blades. If we look down here at the shaft, look at how much she gets those blades to lift into the water. Bang, bang. Look at that. They go straight up. And here, if we come here, it's just the hands lifting up. It's not the body opening at all. Right? That's what we want. That's what we want to lock it in. And so here we can see that blade is going into the water. Boom, one more frame. She's buried and she's driving it away. Okay? So that's what we're looking to do. Now, we're going to go to 8:30:25, but we're going to go to the next video. So we're going to come on this one here, and we're going to watch this.
There you go.
There you go indeed. Okay. You even hear me say it here, okay? We're coming to the 3-second mark. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this now. Look at this body position here. Nice, good straight back, okay? Very good posture. Shoulder hip angle, nice and forward. Arms extended. Blades off the water, room underneath. This looks pretty good. We're a little over compressed. Our compression should have stopped here, okay? That should be our compression point. But aside from that over compression, that's a very good position. And now notice, look at this. The blades are moving, the body isn't lifting. This is nice, this is nice. We're starting the leg drive a little too early before those blades get in. This is slow hands, okay? This is the hands being slow at lifting to place it in. So when we as coaches talk about quick hands, or at least me, when I talk about quick hands, I'm not talking about rushing through the process. I'm not talking about, rushing into the catch and hurrying out of the catch. What I'm talking about is just the lift of the hands. We want that upward motion to just go bang. As soon as we decide to put them in, boom, they go up, okay? Whereas if we watch this here at full speed, we're going to watch how the hands go in. Of course, the video freezes there, so there we go. Do we see how that's kind of a bit of a slow, it doesn't really fire up into the air, right? So we want to really fire those things up. Okay. But this looks so much better, right? When we watch this here, this looks good.
There you go.
There you go. And that's why I even say it, right? In the boat there, the coach boat there. Look at this. This looks much stronger. Right? Coming through here. Now, here we should keep the chin up. Chin should be parallel to the water. That's going to open the airway, let us get lots of oxygen in. It's going to keep the eyes looking to the horizon rather than down in the boat. That's going to help stabilize the boat. This is not bad position here. We see a lot of people really drop the elbows very low. This doesn't look too terrible, okay? Layback amount is not bad. It's probably a little more than what we should have, but we're talking just a teeny bit more. This looks good. Okay, this video here for you looks good. So I hope you watch this video a bit and really look at kind of what's going on in this video, because you had it pulled together pretty nicely here, right? And if we can use our brain, like I say, to lock in this and really keep working this, even when we get tired and fatigued and we're exhausted and our quads are killing us and our glutes are killing us and our back is starting to get sore because we're using those erector muscles to hold the body in position. Right? Stick to it. Have the brain demand of the body. The body will toughen up, right? If the brain demands it, the body will respond. So that's what we've got to do. But this looks so much better, right? This looks so much better. So really, really nice stuff on this one. Now we're going to 9:02:25. Video 1. Okay, we're coming to 6 seconds here. Again, we see that over compression, right? That over compression here. But we're going to 6 seconds. There we go. Now, this here again, this doesn't look terrible. Look at this. This looks pretty solid, right? There's nice forward pivot. We hold it better, hold it better. Now we lay back. Now we draw it in. Okay, so this is not too bad, right? This is the game. This is pretty good. We're seeing progression. When we go back to 824 to 902, right? We're seeing nice progression. August 24th to the 2nd of September. Nicely done. Nicely done. Now, we're going to come up to the 6 seconds. This here's kind of, it's very obvious on this one. So we're going to see this. This is bucking on our oar, okay? We don't want to buck on the oar. And that is where we lay back pretty far. And then as the blades come in, we bring now, instead of bringing the handles to us, we bring us to the handles, okay? So watch your body here now. See how you're coming back to meet those handles. And if we meet here, this is our layback position, okay? Not this, because we had to come back to here to meet those handles. We should just stop here, lock that body, and then bring the shoulders back, okay? Again, positioning here is good, and I'm going to show you exactly what it should look like, okay? This is somebody who does it super duper fantastic here. We're coming to 444. Okay, this is Janine Gamelin, that world champion women's sculler. Now look at this here. We're going to look at her body and how it locks in place, okay? And then she draws the handles to her body utilizing the back. Now, watch the torso here, okay? Watch the torso. Boom. What we see is suddenly, bang, bang. This torso isn't moving. If we're going frame by frame, all we see moving are her shoulders as she's drawing. Look at this. Like nothing is moving there. That is stellar stuff, okay? Don't get me wrong, okay? This is hard to do, okay? But this is fantastic stuff. And what we can see is the body locks in and the blades come to her. The moment we come back on our blades, we've lost that power connection to the end of the blade at the front face of it. And we have now put our body weight and momentum moving against the speed of the boat. The boat is currently going towards the bow here. If we bring our body this way, now we've got conflicting forces. That's going to force the boat to slow down. If we hold the body strong like she's doing here, and we keep the blades coming towards us, the blade handles coming towards us, that keeps our boat moving to the bow. That keeps speed, that builds speed, and that reduces losses. And we never want to give speed away. We never want to lower our ceiling. We never want to give speed away and make our boat slower. Those are things that kill people in races. They kill them, okay? It's very often the crews that keep their speed, the crews that don't hurt themselves, that perform very well, okay? And this here, this is, like I say, look at how strong that body is, just locked in position, right? And you'll see how wide her elbows are, right? They're very wide, they're very high, so these elbows are going to be way above the blade shaft in front of them, okay? This is good. This keeps that weight, that strength, that power here up in the upper back on those lats. That's what we want. Okay, so now we're going to go to 08 and 09 of 902. Okay, here we go. And what I said that for 08, 09, here we go, is, yeah, okay, 9. Here we go. So again, better body position at the catch. Here, right, we come in, we've got over compression, but shoulders in front of the hips. That's nice. We take the catch, and look at this. First bit of pressing, though, even though we're off balance, okay? That body angle isn't moving. We're taking it with the legs. That's nice. That's nice stuff. See us come back on the blade just a little bit here, just a little bit right there, okay? Lock it in. This is what I say. You're doing good with this. Like, your forearm here is not bad, and we want this forearm angle to match that blade, the opposite blade. So this is pretty close, right? You're doing good stuff here. If we can lock the body with the core muscles and utilize the lats to draw the handles to the body, that's going to send you away with a really nice kick. All right, so now we are going to go to 902, and we're going to go, and we're going to do a little watching here. So we're coming in here. Now, we're going to hit this one. What we're looking for here is, as we come to the release, boom, look at that. Not really any bucking on that blade. Body is holding. Look at this. Bang. Nice stuff. Nice stuff. Now the problem is, Franz, you're showing me that you can do it, right? You're showing that you are capable of rowing at a pretty high level. The technical stuff can be there. It now just becomes a factor of if you do it, right? Is the will there to demand that it's done on a consistent basis? Because what we see going through these videos over the course of this week and later videos as well. These are just the ones that I've picked out, okay? But if you go and you look at other videos that we've taken since 902, then that's fine. You'll see similar things. What we find is that there is inconsistency in this. You do make nice changes and you do have a good positioning, but we see inconsistency in it, right? So we want to make things as consistent as possible. So every stroke is a mirror image of the one before. And what we're going to see here at 17 seconds now is as we come back, look at the body now. If the body takes the catch, the body opens too early. So even though earlier in this video we weren't, now we've kind of fallen back into that old habit here. We come back and now we come back to meet the blades again. So we're bucking on that blade here again, right? So here early in the video, we're doing it pretty nicely. We're doing a good job of setting that, holding that body angle pretty decently through that first part of the drive. This one here, we open up a little bit, right? Look at that. Opening up a bit. There, that's not too bad, right? But then we fall off again. So when we see those discrepancies, right, that inconsistency, that's not what we want to see, right? We also want to come over here. We're going to come here. And if we come to see, this is Demir Martin, okay? So we're going to back him up. He is a world champion and an Olympic silver medalist, okay? Look at his shins here, right? He comes, boom. Look at how he places the blades in the water with the shoulder and like hinging at the shoulder and the hand raising, not with opening that body angle. Places it in there, look at that. Nice, he engages, holding that shoulder hip angle. Look at this shoulder hip angle. Right, he's keeping that shoulder hip angle and he finally opens up and passes that hip here, right? And again, just like we saw with Kim Brennan, look how much of that leg is gone by the time the shoulder starts to pass the hip. Arms are still straight. This is what I tell people on the water. When the knee is bent, the arm is straight. When the arm is bent, the knee is straight. We never really want to have knee bent, arm bent at the same time, okay? Here he goes. Now he starts to bring it in with those arms. He completes that stroke. Boom. And look at here his shoulder. Look at his shoulder here. Okay. He comes in. And now he opens up. And the elbows are going back. The shoulders are going back. Boom. Look at this. So this position here now, he did not come back to the blade, right? There's no approach. He's not coming back to the blade. His body is locked. He's bringing those handles back. By opening, look at his elbows here. They're driving back with those lats. Boom. When he gets to this position here, he's got that huge heroic chest. And by that I mean it's like that Superman where he tears open his shirt. It's the hero posture, right? Shoulders back, chest up, nice and open and expanded. Okay? It's a very powerful position. So we want to utilize that every time at the end of each stroke, right? Sometimes people are like, oh, I feel kind of stupid. Like, oh yeah, I'm Superman at the end of the stroke and whatever. Okay, no, be Superman. Okay, every time, right? Get those shoulders back. Think of that chest expanding. Think of locking the core, driving those handles to the body. That will keep the pressure on the front face of this blade. Okay, so if we watch here, we're backing way up, we're backing way up, we're backing way up. Okay. So as he's coming in, drawing it. Like, look at this, just a nice straight draw. But look here at the blade. It is still buried and it's still connected. It's still pushing water. You can see all the water that it's still pushing. Right? Now it starts to come out, but it's still pushing water. Right? There you go. And then now I think you should extract the blades higher and feather higher. This is where I say everybody has issues, right? He just drags them on. Look at this little drag line here, little drag line here. right? For a world champion, an Olympic silver medalist, I would not like to see that, especially on conditions like this. Well, there's no excuse for that. But everybody's got issues. Everybody's got things they've got to work on, right? But positionally, very, very, very solid, okay? Very solid. So those are what I would suggest to work on, right? Really think about not shooting the slide, holding that body angle, shoulders in front of the hips, doing the drive, really letting ourselves feel that connection, let the legs finish the work, then we lay back and draw the handles in. Hold that body angle through the majority of that leg drive. Hold it. Use the core muscles. Lock that in. Do not buck back on the blade. Once that body gets to its layback position, lock it in. Okay, freeze it there and then draw it back, utilizing the big, strong upper back muscles. Okay, that's what we want to do. There you go. So I think that's mostly it. Aim for the consistency. Do not overcompress. Overcompressing is going to put your knees in a very weak position. We don't want that. We want to key, and it's just wasting time. It's wasting time, okay? From a competitive standpoint, right? From a competitive standpoint, this is just wasted time. Look at this, okay? We're looking at the shin 90 degrees. That is 11 frames. When we went back and we did that, it was 11 frames, okay, that we are past 90 degrees. That means if we just cut out those 11 frames, we can row at a higher rate with no extra effort. We can just push that rate up a little bit faster. Or we can slow down, give ourselves more rest, still come to that 90-degree position, place the blades in and go. And then we're getting more rest and still being in a strong position as soon as the blades hit the water. So we can do one of two things very easily. We can get more rest or we can push the rate, okay? If we overcompress, it's wasted time. And it's time that we're spending at the catch, which is when the boat is at its slowest and it's decreasing speed at the highest rate as well. So we don't want to waste any time here at this catch. It's get up and go. There you go. So hopefully this is somewhat helpful. And if you have any questions, concerns, or comments, please feel free to ask. And there you go. Have a great day.